It is impossible, he told me. No way, it will never work. Forget it. Impossible. There's no way around it. A geyser is AC, he said. And your solar panels are DC. You cannot mix them, he said. Impossible. No way. Impossible. But I told him, a geyser element is a glorified resistor. It doesn't care what you put into it, it will just work. Now he said it won't. Okay. If you don't want my money, I'll put somebody else where I can give my money to. So I found another solar installer. Told me the same thing. No, it can't work, he said. Geyser is AC, a panel is DC. Can't mix. I said, put, that's brother in English. How do you get to that? No, he said, geyser is AC. He said, but it's an element, it's a resistor. It's the same as a resistor like this. Same as this. Same as this. Same as this. Same as these things that you find in your radios. It's a resistor. No, he said, can't mix. So I have to find somebody else. I found the third installer. He said, oh, no, he can make it happen. But I have to buy a special element, a special box, and a special panel. I say, forget it. No way. I've already got panels installed. Just connect my geyser to my existing panels. No, can't be done. I have to buy the extra stuff from him. And that's where I decided, okay, if you don't want to help me and you don't want to take my money, I'll do it myself. Now, if someone wants to give you money and you prove him wrong, you say, I told you so, and you take his money and leave. And if he's right, he pays for your school fees, you learn something new. So let's start with this. So we've got our geyser element, we've got a resistor, some more resistors, and another resistor. So Ohm's law is quite an interesting fundamental thing that most of electronics are based on. And it's very simple. It says there's a relationship between the volts that you put in, the amps, and the resistance value. It balances itself out. I used to put it in a triangle like this. We have volts, amps, and resistance. So what Ohm's law says, if you've got a 1 ohm resistor and you have 1 amp of current flowing through it, then the voltage across it will be 1 volt. So that means if we have a 100 ohm resistor with a 1 amp through it, you will have a 100 volt voltage drop across it. So opposite will also be true. Now let's do that. So for our test, if we match the voltage with the resistance, so if we have a 100 ohm resistor, no, it's the wrong way around. So if we have a 100 ohm resistor and we put 100 volts across it, we should measure 1 amp. Simple as that, nothing to it. So, but these are small. They cannot handle much heat. Neither will these and these. So we can start by putting 50 volts over a 100 ohm resistor. Then we should have half an amp. For the bigger ones, we can match it because they've got a bigger body, they can dissipate the heat better. And this, yeah, even easier than the rest. Oops. So, let's start. Next page. Our test circuit will be really simple. This is our variable voltage source. So we've got our variable source here going to our test piece. We will have our current meter in line, and this meter we will connect between those two to measure our volts. So let's do it. We start with this one. So that resistor is 47, 48, 47, 48, there we go, 47.5 ohms, 48 ohms thereabouts. So if we put 47.5 to 48 volts across that, we should measure 1 amp. Let's have a look. So our first dummy is 47.5 ohms to around 48 ohms depending on the meter. So our current circuit will go through here to the one side of the resistor, as you see there. The other side will go back to there. Since we're not making following color codes like in all the action movies, we have to cut it here to a black bar. We can use any color we use, and we said this one will now be connected just over there. Let's make this a bit longer, and this will go across the resistor to measure the voltage across it. Awesome. Let's just do volts, set this to amps. This is an AC source at this stage, so we'll set that to AC, set this to AC. So we want about 47.5 to 48 volts on that meter, and you want to see around 1 amps. Let's connect the electricity supply and have a look. As you can see, as we increase the voltage, our current increases. And now it jumped off. There we go. We're on 40 volts. There we go. 47. So on 48, 47 we get about exactly 1 amp. So we know the resistor follows that formula that we looked at earlier. This is starting it up a little bit, but not a lot, maybe 30 degrees or so. 29, yeah. Okay. Let's power it down and do the next one. So I remove this, I remove that. So let's take the next one. This says 100 ohms on it. Let's double check it. There's our meter. .6 ohms this says. Okay. Our wire, let me move that machine out of the way for you. So the one of the source goes to the one side, the ammeter goes to the opposite side, like that. Our voltmeter then goes across it, as we said earlier, and we're ready to roll. Oops. Now, due to the size, I don't know how much. Due to this thing's size, I don't know how much heat it's gonna be able to dissipate before it has a meltdown on us. So let's increase it slowly to 50 volts. On 50 volts, we're gonna get about 500 milliamps here, or half an amp. Let's see. We're going 47, 48, 49. There we have 50 volts, and we've got 486 milliamps, which is almost half. So it keeps the same formula. This is heating up a bit more. 48 degrees, 49, 53, 66, 62, 64. Press in, we can pour some water with this thing. Okay, so let's remove this resistor. It is, this machine was lying, it's way 66, it's way more than 40 degrees. So good we don't have COVID anymore, all the sea people will pass. So let's do the same for this one. First we need to confirm its value. Haha, almost caught me by surprise there. Okay, let's check this one before we start. 100 ohms also. The negative side goes to the one side, or the not negative, the one side of our circuit, and then the meter goes there. Other side of the circuit goes to the opposite side if it stops jumping off, and that's there. Awesome. Now this is a little 10 or 20 watt thingy, I don't know. Let's see how it holds up. So we're on 38 volts, 40 volts, 485 mA, 550 volts, 494, 480. So it also holding the same circuit. If you look at the thing, you see it's starting to shine and it's starting to smoke. So it's gonna go belly up on us pretty soon. Too much current on this silly thing. Wow. Let's see if we can get a reading on this. No, too silly. But it's smoking quite viciously. Oh. See the shiny edges starting to melt on us. So now let's see what this does compared to the others. So first let's get its statistics. So the element is sitting at 27.3 ohms. Let's put this here so hopefully you can see it better. ohms. Okay, like with the other test items, we've got the current meter on the one side, we've got the other wire on the opposite side, our voltmeter over here, and the other side of the voltmeter over there. So we're measuring the potential difference between the two edges, and that's volts. We're on 1.6 volts, so we need to take it to 27 volts. 25, 26, 27 volts. We're on 900 milliamps, so 0.9 amps. 0.98, let's take it to 0.3. So 27.6, we're on 1 amp. So this reacts the same as this resistor did, and this resistor did. Still hot. And this resistor did also. No wonder these things didn't work during COVID. Just rubbish. Okay, so we've seen that the element from the water heater or the geyser reacts the same as a resistor to voltage and current. So this is AC. But the guy said the panel is DC. So we need to do a DC test. So I'm going to power this off and pull this in. So let's disconnect all these. This and this. Okay. So here we have got the capacitor. It's 41,000 microfarad up to 50 volts. So we can use it for this test. This is a bridge rectifier. So what this does, our AC, which is alternating, comes into the bridge rectifier, which has got some diodes inside them. And from the diode it goes to the capacitor. So this is a very basic diagram. There's actually 4 diodes in there, but just to demonstrate it, so the voltage will go through here and it will charge the positive side with a positive voltage and negative and make the AC to become DC. So what the bridge rectifier does, it makes AC DC and it stores it in the capacitor. So let's test it. I'm going to connect the AC to the one side of the diode. This goes to the other side of the rectifier, and there we need to get our DC voltage now. So this wire is connected here, so I can connect the voltmeter here, and the positive goes there, so I connect the voltmeter there. So we'll do the same test as what we did for the resistors. So the DC voltage, I'm just going to set this to AC for now because it's still connected to the AC side. And you'll see when we start to charge it, the voltage will increase over there. So let's charge it to a nice voltage. I'm going to reduce this to 0 and disconnect the power supply to the capacitor. You see it remains fairly well charged. Now, here comes the fun bit. Do you see that? Let's do it again. Connect the AC there, connect the AC here. Let's move this closer to the view. Okay, move this a bit. Let's charge it up like we did before. Okay, I'm going to remove the supply. So there's no supply on there. You can see it remains charged to 40 volts like a battery does. So that's DC. And now let's repeat our test. Are you ready? That's awesome. Shall we do it again? Nah, just now we hurt ourselves too much. Okay, awesome. So we have got a device that will convert the AC to DC for us. To repeat the test, now we'll remove the ammeter from the AC supply as we need to connect it to the DC supplies. Don't do this at home, you might get shocked. Okie dokie. So now let's draw you the next schematic of what we have done now, what we will be doing. Terminology. That's when crunchies try to speak English. So we've got our AC source, which is variable. So those 2 wires will then go to the bridge rectifier. I'll just draw it as a block with the diode in it. So we've got AC going in and we've got a DC going out, a plus and a minus. If you look at this, you will see that 3 of these are in the same direction. This one is offset. So the one that's 90 degrees from the other 2 or perpendicular to the other 3, that's a positive, and this one is negative, and that's our AC input. So, and then from here we will have our ammeter again like before. Before that we'll have our capacitor that will charge like a battery, and then that will go to our test pieces, and as previously we'll have our voltmeter connected to the resistor to see what's happening there. Turn this off for a second. I'm going to split them up. Let me get another one of these thingies. Disconnect that. So we're going to take our AC, make it DC. DC will go there, just like before. So we've got this going from there to here. We have another one which will go from here to there. So these two wires are these two. Let's get this in there nicely and tighten it. So the blue and the green are the two wires we see coming into the bridge rectifier, which is this thing here. And we've got the two wires going to the capacitor, which is there. And now our amp meter will need to go between the capacitor and our test subject. So we'll take the negative output of that, like this. Get it all nice and tight. Don't jump off. And that will go to the negative of your amp meter. So this now is this wire between the negative of the capacitor and the amp meter. This side we are not doing yet. Now from the positive side it will go directly to our test piece. That will be the white wire. So this will go from the positive to our test piece, which we will clamp there. This meter is our voltmeter. I'll be able to see it, and that will, just like previously, be connected to the test piece. I'll just push this underneath here. So we'll have one wire on that side and the other one will be on the opposite side of the test piece. And I'll put this underneath there so it's out of the way, and this will then go onto the, there we go. Let's keep it the same as the other one. There we go. So a test piece will now go between here, and we will have DC here. So let's put your ammeter on DC and put your voltmeter on DC. And we're ready to roll. Let's start with our 47 ohm resistor. And we've seen, previous time we put 47 volts in and we got around 979-80 milliamps. So let's see. Let's increase our voltage. We're on 16 volts, 20 volts, 27, 32, 38, 41, 44, 45, 46. We're on 47 volts and we're on 1 ampere. 47.3, 0.99, 48, just 1 amp, as we saw in our first sketch, which was this one. So this resistor for AC and for DC has got the same characteristics. We can power this down now, remove this resistor from our DC source, and just watch out, this must still be charged. This has started to heat up in the meantime, although this silly thing cannot see it. Rubbish. This 100 ohm we tested at 50 volts, which is the maximum for this capacitor, so we cannot connect more than that. Let's do the same thing, 50 volts. I mean, want to see 480 or so milliamps here, if I remember the previous test. We're on 50 volts there, and 460, awesome. 47, 48, 49, 50, 480, 490 milliamps. That's half an amp, 0.49 amps. So I'm happy this is reacting the same now as it did on the AC test. There's our one that started smoking on us, and let's do the same with it. Do a quick test on it. There we go. 15, 20, 30 volts, 36 volts, 40 volts, 42, 44, 46, 47, 49, 50 volts, and we're on 500 milliamps here. So it also reacts like it did before. This is brown, black, brown, gold, so this is also supposed to be a 100 ohm resistor. This resistor is just a bigger version of these small things that you get in your radios and TVs and cell phones and all this electronics. Let's repeat the same test with this one. So DC, let's have a look at 50 volts. Where's our capacitor can go to? 47, 450 volts, 490 milliamps. So it also follows the 92 degrees, 72, 69. So it's cooling down at least. We'll give it a second before we touch it, and it is shining. Actually, there's some liquid coming off it. There you can see it. It's literally evaporating. And now the big boy, our AC only component according to all the solar experts. It was 27.3 ohms. We'll connect it and see if it reacts the same on the DC as it did on the AC. So let's go to 27.3 volts or so, 25, 26, 27. There we go to 3, and we're on 0.99 amps, and we're 27, there we go, 27.9, 1.014 amps. So this heater element reacts the same on the DC as it did on the AC. So for this experiment, the geyser element doesn't care whether you're running it on AC or DC, it just works. It just works. Now you must remember the 27.3 ohms, because this will be needed once you start to connect it to the panels. The 27.3 ohms will tell us how many panels we can connect it to. So at the end of the day, we will use a slightly different schematic than normal. Let me disconnect this, and I can draw you the picture quickly. Just disconnect this. So we've now determined that the geyser element is literally just a glorified resistor, nothing more. And all our experts are not as expertly as they thought they were. So we have our panels, and they're all connected in a line. These are solar panels, and this then goes to our solar controller. Stabilize that, which will then store the energy in a battery. From there it will then power the whole house. We do not want to connect our geyser to this output, as it will drain the battery for one, and also you'll be converting your DC to AC to DC to AC to AC, and then it's just every time you convert it you waste energy. We want our geyser to work directly from the panels. So that's where the math for this comes in, because that will determine how many panels we need to power the geyser. So at the end of the day, we will connect one side of the geyser there, like we did with our supply, and depending on our element and the math we do, we'll connect the other side somewhere between these panels. The advantage with this is that we will siphon some power off to warm our water, but the whole bank will still be able to power your house. And that brings us to the end of this part of the project. Unfortunately, it is pitch black dark outside. For the next bit, we'll need some sunlight to show you how to make your geyser run directly from your solar panels. So until the weekend, when I've got some sunlight, take care and stay safe.